Alrighty guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, I don't know how big of a difference it's going to make, but I am filming currently on my brand new camera. It actually just came today. It is the Canon Vixia HF-R80, I believe. I don't know what the audio is going to sound like. I don't know what this video looks like. I'm positive it's going to be better than my iPhone. Today is a very different kind of video. It has nothing to do with trucks and nothing to do with college, but it does have everything to do with guns. So, I have made a video in the past about cleaning a very specific handgun that I own. It is a, well, I can just show you. It is a model of or a replica, not a model. It is a replica of a Colt 1851 Navy cap and ball black powder revolver, and this is that gun right here. Yep. Classic looking old school cap and ball. I made a video in the past about cleaning this gun. We actually just recently went out and shot a bunch of our guns, so if this light keeps flickering, I'm sorry if it keeps turning on and off. But this is a single action, which means every time you want to shoot, you have to pull the hammer back. It is not a double action like most modern revolvers. You can pull the trigger with the hammer down and it does absolutely nothing. It doesn't move. This gun is actually quite interesting. It is a quite interesting firearm. It is completely inaccurate, but that was how they are. It is also, you know, it is made to the exact specifications as the Colts. So any Colt part is for this gun is completely compatible with this firearm. We are going to, I'm going to go over the disassembly on this, and then we will go over the cleaning process, and that's going to be that. So that video that I did before, I completely missed all of the disassembly footage because I didn't have the space on my old phone when I made it. So now that I have this camera, I can, hopefully I'll be able to get all of this footage of the disassembly on camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up the camera and we're gonna go ahead and get to taking that apart. All right, everybody, so again, as I said before, this is a replica of a 1851 Navy revolver by Colt. This one is made by Pietta. It is an Italian gun maker, as you can see right here, made in Italy. These are an exact replica, so it is exactly Colt's design. This is the Confederate model. So it is in 44 caliber, as you can see, you know, that's a big old girl. And it has the brass frame, so this cannot handle as much powder because of the pressures. It will crack the frame. That is plenty to do what you need to do with it, which obviously I just have it as a, cause it's cool. I actually got this gun a couple years ago. I think I was 16 when I got it. I am almost 19 now. That is kind of crazy to think about. And I have only actually shot this a couple different times. I think I've only had it out to the range 4 times just because of time, and I didn't really have a truck back then or a vehicle. So we're gonna go ahead and get to the disassembly here. First things first, as you can see on this side, there is this wedge right here. This has to come out, and I will show you this. So this screw is already loose. I tried to get it out the other day to show my brother something, but so I'm gonna go ahead and get a small hammer and a rag and cover this up, and I will tap this out because it really gets itself stuck in there. But this has to come out, and then you'll see from there. Okay guys, so I have this hammer here. It's just a regular framing hammer, and I have a microfiber cloth. So we are going to go ahead and flip this over like this, and it should only take just a little tap right here. Just there it goes. Alrighty, so as you can see here, now the wedge is flush with the barrel, so we are just gonna go ahead and push this through. Just like that. Here's the wedge. You can see it's got a little spring on it. That's what keeps it in the gun. Now what we're gonna do is, it's pretty simple. You just pull it off. And here you have it. This is the barrel. You can see how dirty that is down in there. That is from shooting 5 rounds out of this black powder revolver. You can see all the crap in the barrel. So that's why we have to clean these. Also, black powder, even though the Pyrodex that I use is a synthetic powder, it is still the equivalent of black powder. So that has to be cleaned, and it is corrosive. So if I don't clean it, this will start to rust, which is not good. So the next step is to disassembly here, is to pull the hammer to half cock, and then the cylinder can slide right off the end. Next thing we're gonna do is these nipples for the percussion caps, these little round things right here, they all get pulled out and soaked in a solvent. And the frame obviously is dirty up in here around the hammer. This is all brass right here. This whole thing is brass, so obviously it's all black and nasty and it needs to be cleaned. So it's pretty simple. You can see here from the last time I cleaned it where I didn't get it clean enough or I didn't get oil on it. Right here, this is rust. This is what black powder does if it sits. It causes corrosion. Yeah, all the way around this thing. You can see it's all rusty down in there. So I might polish that up a little bit. As you see, just wiping my thumb over it comes off with powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my tool that I need to get those nipples out. I will be right back. Alright guys, so we're back here. I grabbed the tool. This is what I need right here. This came in a kit that I got with the gun. It has a flathead screwdriver. This whole gun is put together with flathead screws, and this is the tool for the nipple remover. This is the nipple remover. Basically like a valve core tool for a tire. Don't use a valve core tool for a tire. That's not the right thing. So then we have this. This is the part soaker, or the solvent. This is CVA's. Dad has the CVA muzzle loader, so this is what he had. It is for black powder, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. To remove these nipples, it's really simple. You just put this thing on it and give them a good twist. And they just spin right out, just like that. Alrighty, just one more. Another thing you can do to clean these really well is just soak them. Soak all the parts in soapy water, like overnight, like hot soapy water. Just leave it in there for a couple hours, and that really helps cut through the powder on these. But as you can see on the back of this cylinder, maybe you can, maybe you can't. It is pretty gross. Yeah, there you go. You can see all the particulate that gets built up in there. And those percussion caps that are used are also black powder. So obviously the cylinders are going to be dirty as you cram powder into them. So those need cleaned. I usually soak just the cylinder in soapy water, but I don't think I'm going to do that this time just because I only shot it a couple times. The last time I had this out at the range, I think I shot 4 or 5 cylinders out of it, so it was absolutely disgusting. We're going to close this up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to toss the wedge in here too, because why not? It needs cleaned as well. Everything gets cleaned, even the outside. So we're just going to let that soak until we're ready to put it all back together. Those are very small parts that are very hard to clean. So now we are going to get out some other stuff here, and this is the part where we get into the cleaning, because this is the complete disassembly. Obviously, I could pull some other things off, like take this off right here, put this screwdriver in here, and we'll just unscrew this thing. This is the ramrod. I've actually never taken this off before, so it probably could use a good cleaning up in there. But this is the ramrod. This is what you set the ball with. This is what you set the load with into the cylinders, or into the chambers inside the cylinders. So we're just going to pull this out. Alrighty, now this should just slide right out, just like that. So that's as disassembled as the barrel can get. Complete disassembly right there. So I will clean all this stuff individually here. I am going to toss this screw back in here so I don't lose it. By the way, I have some new videos coming soon that are going to be really good. So those will start next week. Probably on Monday is when they will start. So we're gonna go ahead and just move on with this process. These are the rust prevent patches right here from CVA. Those are the last thing we're gonna use. And these right here are the quick clean patches. So these have a barrel solvent, or a powder solvent on them. As you can see, they're yellow. Alright guys, so I'm going to be using a 45 caliber cleaner brush here, because this actually, it is a 44 caliber, but it is so close in size that the 45 fits, and I don't have a 44 caliber brush, but as you can see, this will slide right into the barrel there. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one, and I'm going to grab a short snake here. Now I know there's lots of different ways to do this. This is just the way that I do it and the way I prefer to do it. So what I like to do is start with the quick clean patches. Take one of these off, and you wrap it around your brush, just like that. Now what you want to do is you want to disconnect your snake here, and you want to put this in the barrel. Now this is made of brass, so it will not mar the steel. If you slide it down the side of the barrel, I'm sure it will do something, but it's not going to damage your gun. And this steel cable is covered in a nylon or a rubber, so it will not damage the barrel. And then you just want to take this, and you want to make sure it stays wrapped around your brush. And then you set it just like that. Oh, you can't see that. You set it just like that, and then you go ahead and you just give her a pull. And you pull it on through, just like that. And as you can see, this is what a barrel out of a black powder gun looks like after just a couple shots. That is all black powder soot from the burning process. So now we can flip this one over and reuse it on the other side. And we repeat this process until the barrel is clean. So I'm going to go ahead and just completely clean out the barrel, and then I will get back with you guys when that is done. Alrighty guys, so it's not perfect, but as you can see, It is now shiny and not full of dirt. It actually took very much less time than it normally does because I only shot 5 rounds, so it wasn't really that dirty. It just looked pretty dirty. But anyway, yeah, so it came out clean. I actually only ended up using 2 or 3 patches there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a quick clean patch and I'm just gonna clean all the back of this right here. I'll just show you. You take just a patch in your hand and you just rub it on well, everything. All of the cracks and crevices, all the holes where anything meets up with anything else. Any face needs to be cleaned thoroughly all around. Clean it, and as you can see, the patch is getting dirty quite quickly, so we are going to just make sure that this whole area gets clean. Now I'm just going to continue to wipe off kind of just everything with this, anything right up here around the action, and especially around the muzzle where all the powder comes out. The brass nub on there will get tarnished pretty easy. We'll clean the actual end of the muzzle here. And guys, you know, this is totally safe. This firearm is not actually considered a firearm. It is considered a war replica. It's not even considered a dangerous ordnance. So now we're just going to start on the center shank here and the frame, and we're just going to clean it. The barrel is all clean, but at the end of this, we will wipe it down. Excuse me. We will wipe it down with a rust preventative, and then I'll probably wipe that off a little bit with a rag. And we will hit it with some oil just to protect the metal. Alright, so the big one here is cleaning the back side of the hammer. The back side of this hammer is, or the inside of the hammer I should say, is probably the dirtiest part of this gun other than the barrel. Right in here, right when you open the hammer up, just this piece, this whole groove and this whole inside of the hammer. This is a color case hardened hammer. It is made of steel, as is the ramrod is made of color case hardened steel. These guns are really cool. For those of you that don't know about these and are interested in them now, the rear sight, when you put the gun together, this is pretty cool. When you put the gun together, the rear sight is actually the hammer. You see that groove? So when you look down the barrel, you can see the peg down there on the end, right there. That is how you aim. So when you fire this, there are no sights, right? Because your hammer blocks your view, but when you cock this back, now you have sights again. I just think that's pretty cool. So anyway, back to cleaning. Again, this is the most tedious part, is cleaning the inside of here, and you need a pretty tiny brush to do it, or like normally I just use this brass piece on here because it fits. You just kind of scrub it out. You just wrap this cloth around the end of the brass here, just like that. Just like you would with a brush, and you just scrub it out. Now the one thing you can't do with this that a brush does is get into the sides and into the grooves, so I will go through and get those eventually with a brush probably. But the big thing is just making sure all the powder is off of it, all the corrosive black powder is off, and after you do that, it's pretty much gonna be good. So this cleaning is actually going very quickly. I'm sorry, you can't really see this. This cleaning is going relatively fast. I've only been at it for half hour now, and that's with some stops in between. Normally it takes me like 3 hours to clean this gun completely, but as you can see, just 5 shots made this thing absolutely nasty. We're still on the same patch. We still have the whole other side, and now we're just going to clean the face of the frame here where the cylinder sits. This should clean up nice because it's not too dirty. Just scrub it off until the brass comes out as clean as it can possibly get. And once you're there, you're done. And then we do have to clean the cylinder. That part is the most time consuming. The frame and the barrel are easy and usually pretty fast, but everything else, you know, the nipples and stuff are fast because you put them in the solvent. Actually, we're gonna give these a shake them around a little bit, try and break up all that powder. Just scrub this down until it comes off as clean as it's gonna get. That looks like about all we're going to get out of that. And this center shank usually isn't too dirty because it is inside the cylinder there. And this one is actually, it is a little bit dirty right now, but we're just going to go through and wrap this around and scrub it up just like so. But as you can see, guys, this is not hard to clean. It is just time consuming. We'll leave that hammer back. Alrighty, now those two things are out of the way, and I will wipe down this ramrod real quick just because I haven't ever had it out and cleaned it. So you guys are gonna have to tell me in the comments how this video looks with this new camera. Again, this is a Canon Vixia HF-R80. I bought it refurbished from Canon's. I know it's good. Now comes the hard part. Obviously, these chambers are the same size as the barrel. They are 44 caliber, and we are just going to leave this on the snake and just kind of hold it like this to clean it. For this one, I'm going to use these quick clean patches again because I like to have it fully coated all the way around instead of trying to coat a dry cotton patch with my hands. Not quite so fun. This one we are going to wrap around the nose because the holes for the nipples go all the way through, and they're pretty big, so they need to be cleaned out. But what you do is you just take this and you just kind of push and spin it in there. As you can see, it's quite a tight fit. Go get it all the way into the bottom. Give it a good spin. Go, and then you can just pull it on out if you can. Sometimes it's quite tight. Again, this isn't going to be as dirty as if I shot it a bunch because I only shot 5 rounds through it. Just keep that in mind. The more you shoot it, the more you have to clean it, the dirtier it gets. I found that after about 3 cylinders, once you run 3 of these cylinders out of the barrel, it starts becoming extremely inaccurate. So with these, you kind of just have to know your gun and know where it shoots. Mine shoots high and to the left, like a lot, like 2 feet high and to the left. Yeah, so you just kind of have to know your gun and know where it shoots, but I realized that it starts stringing the shots pretty bad after 3. 2 runs through there, and that's a pretty good, pretty clean cylinder, so we're just going to go ahead and shove this in the next one because the patch is clean on this side still. So we'll pull it out. There we go. There's the dirt that we were looking for. We'll just throw this over here, grab another patch, do it all for all 6 of them, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I will catch up with you guys when that is done. Alrighty guys, so I'm on the last chamber here. For those of you that don't know, the holes in the cylinder, these 6 holes here are called chambers. They are the hardest part to clean. Well, they're not the hardest, they just take the longest amount of time. We're on the last one here. As you can see, we're just running this thing around in a circle in it. Let me pull it out, and there you have it. That one is good to go. So, next thing is to clean the ports here where the nipples go in. I'm having a hard time seeing my camera here. There we go. Well, it's upside down, but you get the idea. So here is, you can see these are quite dirty in there. These have to be all cleaned out. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then we will hit the whole thing with some oil as a rust preventative. And we'll wipe everything down with that too. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab another one of these quick clean patches, and I think this will be the last one of these that I use. Going to take this brush here. We're actually gonna take it off of the snake. We're just gonna take this and kind of wrap it around the tip just a little bit like that, and then we'll just hold it just like this, and we will just kind of run it in through here. Just kind of clean up this whole area in here. We'll just run it in a circle. Yep. We'll just kind of brush these out. They don't take much to clean them. Usually just doing this once will get the job done here. Take the tip and just kind of scrub down in the hole here. Probably the least time consuming process of this whole thing. Again, just take a tip and kind of scrub down in here. Sorry to keep moving off camera here. It's kind of difficult to film this and do it at the same time. You got to focus a little bit. Make sure you get all the little pieces and parts of it clean. Alright, so that's all clean. Now we're just going to take the inside of this and wipe off the outside of the cylinder and the face. The face is really quite dirty most of the time, as it obviously gets lots of blast from powder. The outside of the cylinder we'll just wipe off in case there are any contaminants on it that will cause it to rust, because obviously we don't want our firearms rusting and we want to keep them in good shape. I'm going to take the rust preventative patches here, and I will just wipe these all down on every single part of the whole gun, except obviously the wood and the brass, because it doesn't rust but it will tarnish, so this will keep that from happening. Rub this all around on the whole thing here, on the face and everything, and this will all get, I have a bottle of Rem oil that I'll probably spray over this, and I'll probably wipe it down with a patch or a cloth or something just to keep it clean. We will just wipe everything down with this patch here. One thing I like about this gun is the fact that it is brass. It has a brass frame on it, so where your hand goes it tarnishes. It's all tarnished out on the grip. Here on the back of the grip you can see it's not real shiny. Even when you wipe it, it doesn't really get shiny. It stays that nice old looking brass, whereas up here on the front of the frame it's all polished and shiny. I'm hoping that one day it will be all nicely tarnished and old looking, because I like that look. I like the tarnished brass look or the worn brass look rather than the shiny polished. Well, the shiny polish does look good, but I much prefer the tarnished or worn look on brass. So there's the frame clean. Now we have have the cylinder and the frame clean, and now we're going to do the whole entire barrel. We'll just wipe down the entire barrel outside, and then we will run this one through the barrel, through the actual bore, to get the solvent out of there, because I'm pretty sure the solvent is corrosive as well, not just the powder. Just push it through the barrel, and there it is. As you can see, there is a little bit of rust on it from inside the grooves, the rifling, so I might run this through a couple more times maybe just to get that stuff out, but as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty clean. So I'll drag it back through once, and then that'll be all I'm gonna do. Alrighty, looks like it's all good, no more rust. So it just took one time through to get that rust out. That should be good now. So last things last, we will clean the ramrod here. Just wipe it down. It is color case hardened, so it probably won't rust too bad. I've never had a problem with it rusting. Just the center here of the center shank that goes through the whole gun. This piece right here, this rod right here, is the only spot that I have rust on this entire gun, which I'm kind of proud of because my shotgun has quite a bit of rust on it, but you know, it's a beater shotgun. So alrighty, that should be everything. Now I'm going to find a rag real quick. So now we're going to we're going to close up this stuff before it dries out. Just move everything kind of out of the way here, and we'll get this all set back up just like so. And we're actually going to move it up here so that you can't see it, because I have other things that I have to do in this space, like take this out right here. So what we do here is we pull this out, and we take the little pieces and we just dump them on a rag, just like that, and then we drop this back in, close this up, and this is done. So now we just have to dry these off, get all the solvent off of them, and then clean them up a little bit. You know, they're going to be rusty and dirty still. You still have to clean them. As we do this, we will stick them back in a hole. I'm going to screw them in later, not right now, because it takes for a little while to screw those back in all the way. And get everything back the way it should be. And then, so I'm going to end this right here for now, and I will get back to you when I reassemble the whole gun. Alright guys, so we're on the last nipple here, and with these you want to be careful. You don't want to over tighten them, so basically you just spin them on until they stop, and then I like to give them a little extra hit, you know, just a couple pounds of force, and this would be inch pounds, as this is only like a 3-inch stick or 2.5-inch stick. So put a pound of force, that's 3-inch pounds, so just very light, and they are not going to come out of there by any means. Now we're just cleaning off our wedge, and then we can get right into reassembly here. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the ramrod back in here inside the barrel. So we're just going to pop this screw out. This tool is super handy, so if you get one of these, make sure you get a kit to go with the gun that has one of these tools in it. I use it all the time. So to do this, you have to take the actual ram right here, and you actually stick it through this bottom hole here in the barrel right there, and then it should just line up pretty well. Find your screw, you drop your screw through and tighten it back down, and that should be good to go. And you don't want that too tight, obviously, as it is supposed to be able to move, so I'm pretty sure it can only get so tight. Like you see here, that is tight, the screw is tight, but this is still very, you know, it's floppy, it'll just drop. So alright, barrel reassembled. Okay, so then the next thing, you put it back on half cock, put the frame on half cock, and then you slide the cylinder on here and make sure it works. There it is. And then you slide the barrel on just like that until it pops in. And then you take your wedge and you just push it on through here just like that. And now it should be pretty well locked in. Yep, as you can see, I cannot push it back out with my thumb. It pretty much immediately sets itself. And then you just take your screw here. Oh my, pretty good crank. That way it shouldn't move. So that's where that screw goes. And now, as you can see, we have a working, functioning 4-pound revolver. Again, with these nipples, you can see I'm easing the hammer down every time I pull the trigger. You don't want to distort these, and letting the hammer slam into them without a percussion cap will cause the nipples in here to get mushroomed out, and then you won't be able to get a cap on them at all. So that is the disassembly and cleaning process of the 1851 Navy style revolver. I'm sure the 1860s are exactly the same, just with a smooth barrel, not a hex barrel. But it is all clean, and I will polish it up before I put it away, but as of right now, it is all good. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did enjoy the video, please drop a like down below and comment if you have any tips or tricks for that. Go ahead and click on the link down below if you want to check out my merch. I do have some merch on teespring.com. I will leave a link in the top of the description. Yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one.